offensive system and what pieces need to be put in and who we're losing. So it's an evaluation of personnel, it's an evaluation of talent, it's also an evaluation of your own existing personnel and being able to be ready to put the pieces in that are graduating. So if you're losing an outside receiver, you better have an outside receiver coming in, and those are the things that I think Coach Henson, Coach Nunn, Coach McIndoe, Coach Wozniak, I think they're tremendous at what they do. They're great evaluators, and the guy that really doesn't get enough credit is Casey Dunn and what he's done with our receiving core, and not only just getting talent in, but getting character in, getting guys that are team guys that are physical guys that fit. We have guys that can stretch the field. We got guys that can high point the ball. We have guys that can go inside and go over the middle. So it's a blend, a balance of personnel that's been exceptional, and he deserves a lot of credit for that.
And James Washington's got to be one of the guys that's kind of the poster child of that, being a guy that came from such a small school and developed into what he's become.
Absolutely. James is one hell of a kid. Comes from a tremendous family. He's just a workaholic and a heck of a competitor, And Coach Dunn's done a great job developing him, but he's got a tremendous skill set and just tremendous athleticism. And when you combine that with the type of person that he is inside, that's pretty special.
I know a lot of people on the outside are going to have their opinions of what your big challenges are going into preseason camp. What are the things that you're looking at to try to improve on and attack?
Well, I think with our style of play, we need to improve on first down. But we're run, play action, and we throw the ball down the field quite a bit. So the nature of that is sometimes you miss on first down and 2nd and 10. We have to try to become a better offense with regard to quick passing game on first down and staying ahead of the chains. And although we have to take shots down the field, especially on 1st and 10, you have to be balanced as far as your run and your shots down the field. But that's one area we need to improve and continue to improve on ball security. You always have to improve on that fundamental, and just our overall understanding of the system and the communication that needs to take place. But we're going to strip it all back down day one and start from scratch and build it back up and make sure that our plays are minimized and that our players are playing without any hesitation, and we're giving them a great chance to succeed based on all of the multitude of looks that the defense can give you, because there's so many looks that the defense can possibly give you on game day, and there may be a look that they give you on Saturday which they schemed you and you had no idea it was coming. We saw that several times last year where defenses just totally broke tendency against us and just came out of their shell from what they are and did something totally different that we didn't see on tape. So in order to be good against those types of scenarios, you have to understand your own schemes very well and to be able to minimize your packages. So we have to make sure that we're doing that and giving our guys a chance to play with their hair on fire.
Without a guy like Jeremy Seaton or Blake Jarwin at that cowboy back position, do you have to kind of observe how you're going to use that position going forward?
Well, I think that's a key to each offense is going to be a little bit different from year to year. I think that's going to be the glaring thing that stands out for us. Is this unit being different from last year? But we have Britton Abbott come back at cowboy back. He's got a lot of experience coming off a good spring. Keenan Brown, we'll continue to see those guys compete in the fall. But yes, we're going to be a little bit different offensively, but we still have to muscle up some formations and allow Justice Hill and the rest of the tailbacks to get downhill and be able to protect the quarterback and create an extra gap. Sometimes you want to get in particular formations based on what you see on film to take advantage of what the defense's weaknesses are. So we have to put those elements in. But yes, that will be an interesting difference between this year and last year.
Speaking of Justice Hill, guy that had some surgery in the offseason, how is he feeling?
He looks great. He's feeling great, and all signs that he's 100% ready to go.
How exciting is it for you as a coordinator when you have all these weapons at the skill position? Kind of like can the candy store kind of feeling? Or
no, I think you got to be careful getting giddy and all those sorts of things, and that's been asked several times today. Excitement. It's always exciting to start camp. It's always exciting to teach football. Obviously, with these many, as many talented players as we have, we're in a good situation. But with that, we have to understand the importance of preparation. So there is no more. It's just like every year has to be the same as far as when you're a coach to feel that it's about the preparation. It's about getting our team to improve, finding ways to improve. That's what our focus is on. Everything else, how talented we are, or how excited are you, or you have your kid in a candy store, all of those sorts of things really don't matter. If you're not improving, then you're not doing your job as a football coach. So we have to find ways to improve and make sure that our players understand that we have to pay attention to every detail, communicate, and our players do a great job of that. That's why we've had the success that we've had, but needed to continue to do those sorts of things. And those boring little habits, we have to thrive in those and understand that those are a necessity.
Mike, how is Mason's role this offseason involved in terms of him having a say in the offense, or sharing plays with you, watching film with you guys, and I guess he's kind of earned the trust of you guys that if he has an idea, you guys really bring him in the room, right?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you have a guy that has had that much experience, what happens is there becomes more trust in that relationship, and you understand that he understands and he gets it, and that happens, and there's only one way that can happen, and that's with time. So yes, ask more questions and get more information from him, and there's more trust with that. And those are all good things. He's done a tremendous job of improving himself each year. Every year there's been that incremental gain of footwork or strength and knowledge and all of those sorts of things that go into being an elite quarterback, which he has done. And a lot of that is his own effort. And it's his own time, and it's extra time, which all the great quarterbacks do. He invests. So he has put the time in, and I think he's going to reap the rewards of that.
Is there a sense of urgency when you get started next week to identify who his number 2 is?
There's always a sense of urgency. Yes, there is. There was a sense of urgency in the spring. We're going to continue that into the fall. That is very critical because there's only a certain amount of reps that go around. And so those reps are very precious, and so whoever is that number 2 needs the majority of those reps to be prepared to win ball games.
Would you say it's Taylor or Keandre out of the spring?
It is Taylor and Keandre. Yes, sir. Excuse me. It's Taylor and Keandre to start, and we'll see how it goes from there.
Justice Hill had obviously a great freshman season. How far away is he from the potential that he can reach? As good as he's been already.
It's tough to say. I can't sit here and project certain things. I know he's a tremendous tailback with a lot of toughness and a lot of great instincts and the vision and all of those elite traits of the tailback position he has. There's a lot of strength left to go. He can gain more, and then really time will tell. But I think the sky's the limit for him. He's a tremendous young man. He's got great character, wonderful family, and comes from a very strong football program in high school. And all those things combined, the sky is the limit for that young man, and it's going to be fun to see him develop as we progress through his career.
What about the 2 spot behind him? Any freshmen could fill the 2, 3, or 4?
Possibly. We have J.D. King and Chuba Hubbard coming in, and I'm not going to sit here and say that they're projected number 2s. They haven't had a practice yet, but they're physical enough to be able to say, they could possibly play just from if you looked at them on the hoof, they have the frame, they have the strength right now to be able to be that backup. I don't know if that will happen, but they're not guys where you say automatically this guy's got a red shirt and put on 20 pounds. That's not the case. Jeff Carr obviously is a guy that we know what he can do, and he's a proven guy that knows the system very well. And J-Ron Wilson is another guy that had a really good spring and impressed us very much. Very tough, physical back that can also share the load and take all the heavy load off Justice Hill.
This is your 5th year here. I don't know if that's as long as you've spent in one place or if you had a longer tenure.
One tenure, Edinburgh, there's 6 years.
6 years.
Yeah.
I know, Mike has said in recent weeks, there's been opportunities where you could have left if you wanted to. What has kept you here these last couple of years?
Well, Coach Gundy does a tremendous job with the staff and the quality of time that it's hard to find a place which is so special from a facility standpoint, from our ability to get great talent here, and then also have the family time that we have. He lets us spend time with our families, and it's a learning experience. You're working for a guy like Coach Gundy, you're learning a lot of information, and I really like the staff. I love our room. I love our players. I love the town of Stillwater. My wife does too, and we love the schools. And it's hard to beat, man.
Is this better than what you expected when you came here 5 years ago?
I didn't have any expectations. I was just my eyes were wide open and just taking it all in, and didn't really think too much. There really wasn't an alternative plan, so it's been awesome, just the experience. I've never been out in this part of the country before, so the climate is wonderful. I love it. A little hot in the summers, but I'll take it any day of the week. I've been shoveling snow since I was knee high, so it's awesome being here, and there's so many things that come into your quality of life in Stillwater at coaching at Oklahoma State. There's so many things that we're just very blessed and fortunate to be here.
You mentioned earlier the trust you have for Mason Rudolph. How much easier does it make your job when you have a quarterback, a leader of your team that you trust so much, even calling plays during the game? How much does that make it easier for you?
It's hard to get to that level because it takes a ton of time and it takes a ton of reps. So those are the things that are unique about having an experienced quarterback. In this day and age, things change all the time. Guys transfer, coaches leave, and that's just the nature of the business. But to have a guy that you've coached for 4 years and to have him in the same system for 4 years, there's a level of understanding, and it's just, again, and I hate to beat it up, but it's time and reps. It's like anything that you guys practice, and it's like your business at the TV station. The guys that have been in it for a certain amount of time, how do you replace that? How do you replace that with a first-year camera guy? You just can't, It's the same thing across the board for anything. Whether you're playing the piano or whether you're playing the quarterback, it's time and it's repetitions.
You mentioned earlier that from the outside looking in, it would seem that you have an easy job of calling plays for an offense that's supposed to be really good. But in some sense, especially a wide receiver with so much talent, can that be kind of a challenge to do, or do you think that way?
No, I don't think it's here's I think what separates us, or I should say, here's what we have. We have a bunch of guys that are talented, but they're also unselfish guys. So we understand going into a game, this is our goal, these are our plays. We're trying to make sure that we're a balanced team. It's not about one guy. It's about being a team offense. It's about spreading the football. But as the game progresses, you have to understand and recognize and diagnose what the defense is taking away. And then, if they're going to play double team on a particular receiver, then, they're taking that guy away. We have to go elsewhere with the ball. So we have to be able to adjust. And our guys understand that, hey, I might get 8 touches this game, and then next game I may get 2. Based on what the defense has given us. So that unselfish mentality, and we don't know what's going to happen on any particular play or any particular ball game as far as who gets the touches. Obviously, we want everybody to touch the ball, and especially our most explosive players to touch the ball a lot. But the defense can dictate to a certain extent where you go with the ball.
So there's never going to be any pressure from your standpoint of having to get certain guys the ball or having to throw so many passes during the game or during the series?
The pressure, I think, in football and in coaching, and I've heard this and I believe it's true, it's not my own quote, but I do think that this is a certain fact, is that the pressure is in the preparation. So if we make sure that we're doing our best to get our best players the ball, but then have a plan and have a system or a progression in place to where the defense takes away an option for us, option A, we have to go to option B efficiently and know and understand and recognize and be able to execute. So that's what football is all about.
Having that depth of playmaker, does it allow you to maybe have things in the playbook, add things to the playbook that you haven't been able to do in the last couple of seasons?
I think you have to be very careful about adding certain things to the playbook. You got to make sure that there's a fine line of doing too much, and we've always prided ourselves. Way before I got here, our offensive system at Oklahoma State, and as well as when Coach Gundy was calling it, is to limit the amount of plays that you're running and giving your guys a chance to be the very best at the plays that you're running. So to be able to install different types of schemes that are new to your guys, I mean, we got guys with thousands of reps in certain particular schemes, and to not run those schemes to some extent would be bad thinking, I would think. So you got to be careful of trying to experiment, or not experiment, but trying to put stuff in that our guys don't understand fully.